This episode of ETC is brought to you by The Belko Experiment, in theaters March 17th.
It's almost like you sick fucks actually get off on disappointment. Why else would these once great game developers continue to release shitty sequel after shitty sequel after shitty sequel? Because you'll buy it and you'll claim to like it no matter what those elitist critics say. In fact, it only makes you double down on the fact that the garbage that these companies are serving up tastes great to you, because it gives you some kind of weird pride to like things that most people don't. Oh yeah, we're onto you, and so is BioWare. So dust off your gimp suit. It's time for T.U.G.S.
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
Well, boys and girls, the embargo's up. The early access is here, and yeah, fuck, nothing's changed for the Mass Effect franchise at all. In fact, according to some reports, it might have actually gotten worse. And you would think that a franchise like Mass Effect would actually take the time to make things right, especially after the massive amount of complaints that Mass Effect 3 garnered from longtime players. Yeah. Not in this industry, though. Deadlines have to be met, stockholders have to be pleased, and your experience is at the bottom of the totem pole.
So, obviously, the first issue that has been popping up over the past few days is the most obvious one, even for people who haven't had the time to sit down and play the game early. Which, by the way, it's possible only with a membership to EA Access. It's just $5 a month, and you can cancel it when you're done with the early access. But, I mean, you're literally paying almost 10% more just to play the game a few days early. It's your choice. I'm not your dad. Do whatever you want. But, okay, hold on. I'm getting off track because now I'm thinking about you getting fucked by EA and me fucking your mom. Where was I? The graphics and the cutscenes. Okay, look at this garbage. It's 2017. No one should have to defend animations that look this terrible in a $60 or more game. It doesn't matter how devoted to the franchise that you are. It doesn't matter. Unless you've only played like Mass Effect games for the past decade and just Mass Effect games, because honestly, they look the same now as they did back in 2007. Even though we've gone through an entire console cycle since then.
I miss 2007.
We all do.
Then, of course, there's this GIF posted by...
It's GIF!
This GIF posted by Twitter user Nathan Ranney, where your character walks around as though she's mounted on a horse. It's a damning blow to this AAA title.
One that should surely sink it.
Clop, clop. There's also actually entire threads online dedicated to showing off the cringiest animations that users have found while playing this game. Even when the characters aren't riding invisible horses, their movements are totally strange. Yes, this is totally how humans walk naturally. Sure. This damning proof of a rushed game is certainly not reassuring to the morons out there who still pre-ordered this piece of shit for no other reason than, but it's the new Mass Effect and I am supposed to buy it? The internet told me game is good months ago, right? Sight unseen.
That's true.
Won't
you
get
make a
fooled
good point.
again.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go rush out and pre-order this now.
I'm gonna pre-order every game that's ever coming out.
The animations, they aren't the only issues either. A lot of outlets are saying that the general writing in the game is just plain terrible and uninspired, and that the voice acting is subpar as well.
Sad.
So combining all of those elements makes for a storyline that you probably couldn't care less about while you're playing the game, and you know, it'll only really matter once you look back at it and try to make sense of it all, if you ever finish it. Everyone was pretty upset by the ending of the last one, so who knows if you make it to the end of this one. Sure, third-person graphics in the game, they're a hell of a lot better thanks to the Frostbite engine. Thanks, Frostbite engine. What's it from, Sweden?
Sweden.
Thanks, Sweden. Sorry about all the riots you're having and stuff. But apparently the actual gameplay is hindered by a fucked up UI. This preliminary review of the game by Rock Paper Shotgun sums up the game's UI like so. UI design is a spectacle of bad choices. And this is the one area where it's definitely not going to improve after these scene-setting few hours. This is a design so poorly put together that you can't even just look at a list of active quests. You instead have to pick your way through an unintuitive and irritating mess of menus, clicking on each blank mission category to see whether you've got anything active on the list inside of each. It's an opaque process, clumsy to navigate. Hell, my hand incessantly twitches at my mouse's thumb button to go back, as is standard in every web browser, but not implemented here.
Sad.
Yeah.
Now, there are some articles that counter the fact that you shouldn't base a game like this solely on the first few hours of gameplay, which is a decent argument, except for the fact that while you might grow to enjoy the gameplay mechanics and then new worlds that you discover, there's just no fucking way that the animations are going to magically improve or that the UI is going to change without some heavy patching. So yeah, maybe you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but it might be perfectly fine to judge a book by its first 10 chapters.
Yeah.
I swear it's gonna get good.
Yeah. I don't know, this whole Bible thing it's kind of a downer.
Yeah. Does Jesus come back?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now that we've got Mass Effect out of the way, step aside Mass Effect, we gave you a week to let the dust settle on the Nintendo Switch, and now it's time to take another look at how the actual fans are finding their experience. And again, as ethical games journalists, we have to say once more that people are loving Breath of the Wild. But there's a dark side to this Nintendo Switch. And it starts with the fact that you will not be able to play the new South Park game, Fractured Asshole, on planes, trains, or automobiles, because as of right now, it is not coming to the Nintendo Switch, despite previous rumors to the contrary.
Sad. These rumors, however, seem to just be entirely based off of a tweet from the South Park account with an animated GIF or GIF of Cartman freezing himself and the text above it saying, Nintendo, I'm coming, Nintendo, hashtag Blizzard 2017. Not an outright confirmation, but still, enough to get stupid people excited that more than a dozen games could be coming to the Switch this year.
Yeah, a dozen and one. A baker's dozen, if you will.
Sorry to hurt your precious feelings, but no. They were just excited about the console release, and a representative for the show had to issue a statement to IGN saying, South Park, the fractured butthole, won't be coming to the Switch.
Sad.
Sad.
Hashtag sad. Now, aside from the actual games, there's also the absolutely infuriating way in which the Nintendo Switch handles data, content, and SD cards.
Oh.
An actual consumer-friendly device would allow you probably the most amount of freedom when you want to play games that you already own or even transfer certain files. But not the Switch! No, sir! In a recent article on Polygon, they explain all the frustrating issues that come along with owning a Switch and trying to complete seemingly normal tasks with it. Starting the whole thing off by highlighting a tweet from Jeff Ramos, who critiqued the Switch as follows.
Things I love. Turning off my Switch to insert an SD card. Turning it on just to copy an image. Turning it off to remove SD card.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. Anyways, they do go on to explain other issues in detail, which you can read by following the link in the description. But they list out things like the fact that you can't transfer saves.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, you can't transfer games, and also you can't even share SD cards if someone else has used it in another Switch or vice versa.
What?
Yeah, it says this Switch or
You
this
have to reformat it?
Yes, sir.
Fuck off.
What a great entry into the marketplace. Just perfect. But like we said before, at least there's Breath of the Wild, right? Okay. Prepare yourself, because it is now time to shit on that sacred cow too. Shibby, we're gonna bring Shibby in, but before we have to give you a warning. We actually made him do this review because he was, in real life, kind of scared of the Zelda community.
Yeah, turns out they're the biggest bullies of all.
All right.
But he's gonna do it anyway, because we're ethical and brave. And our brave little boy is the bravest of all.
T.U.G.S boys and Zelda girl. Thank you. This week I'm reviewing what every games journalist in the world is calling a perfect 10 out of 10. A game so expansive that dozens of ethical review sites could not wait more than 1 minute after the embargo to post perfect scores in order to trick as many Nintendo fanboys into clicking their links and articles. I know, fanboys, these reviews are basically your Pornhub, so put that lucky sock away and wipe the drool from your face. This week, against my own ethics, I'm reviewing Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Woo!
Unlike your lucky sock, after so many uses and beatings, every weapon in this game breaks. But Chibi!
All you've done is make dick jokes the entire time so far.
Weapon durability is not something new, and it makes me so wrecked. Unfortunately, viewer, much like that erection, after very short usage, it's gone. It's rewarding to explore this huge open world, but you are constantly punished for combat. It's sad that I need to actively avoid combat because items are broken after one engagement. Sure, this game is graphically beautiful for a tablet game. Fine. Having said that, the frame rate it has issues when moving objects or engaging in combat, which you should just be avoiding because it's largely pointless in this open world. Look, the few dungeons that they do have in the game are a nice change of pace, but they're not long enough, and just not enough of them in the game. Without any touch controls, inventory management is a total pain in the ass. Needing to throw or drop weapons to pick up weapons.
Hey, that's more durable than a Zelda weapon.
Silence!
Or a Link, I don't know. Is the Link the boy? He's the boy, right?
Correct.
Is Zelda even in this game?
She's a bitch. Wow. And shields and then cycle through menus. It really needs to be laid out better, especially when it comes to cooking. It's awful. I understand there needs to be a cute add-on to these trash little items to make thing mechanic in the game. It's an open world RPG, and that's just how.
I don't understand a word you said for the past, 2 minutes.
That's how these games work. However, why the fuck is there no button or option? Hey, Shibby Link Senpai, you made this shit before. You have enough of this shit in your poorly designed inventory. You want to make some of this shit? So press this button and mass craft this shit. Nope. It's just tedious. It could be more streamlined. Allow me to explore this cool open world and less of the clunky menu bullshit. At the end of the day, there are only 23 real different monster types across the entire game, while in Ocarina, there was 46. The music score in this game is the weakest in the series, in my opinion. And the fact that there's an expansion pass on a game that already costs you $360? Sad. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, this game is low energy. Just look at my stamina bar, as well as overrated. At this moment in time, the title of this game, Breath of the Wild, makes perfect sense because Zelda got the breath of this dick. 0 out of 10.
Is she in the game? You didn't answer.
Spoilers.
How is it a spoiler for the fucking person who the game's named after to be in the fucking game? All right.
Guess I'll have to buy a $360
Yeah, well, I
game
guess I'll have
and
to find out.
find out for myself.
But before we go, we've got another Amazon review for you, and this time we're talking about everyone's least favorite entry into the Mass Effect franchise, Mass Effect 3. And this review comes from user Nick Victory, who titled his review, Utterly Disastrous.
All of the negative reviews are true. Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2 really drew you in and made you care about the characters. And 3 makes you think that you can make a difference, but you can't. No matter how good the game was until the final sequence, the ending is so awful, so unsatisfying, and so depressing that it renders the rest of the experience that much more stupefying, depressing ever. I will never play this game again. It actually made me want to give up playing video games. I didn't even turn any of my systems on for weeks after finishing this heap. Don't listen to all the crap about how it's art and how dare anyone try to criticize an artist's vision. It's a video game, for crying out loud.
I agree.
The Louvre is full of art. This is a game about laser guns and space monsters. And video games are supposed to be fun. The one place where the good guys can win. But in this case, there is no happy ending. The good guys don't win. And in the end, nothing you've done over the course of 3 games and countless hours makes any difference.
What a sad, depressing review.
This man needed Mass Effect 3 to be good. It let him down.
I've been to the Louvre. It's full of art.
It's full of boring art.
So Mass Effect 3 not going to end up in the Louvre anytime soon.
I guess not. I also love just like, video games are the last place to
The good guys can finally win.
No.
I feel bad for this guy.
I know, I do
I hope
too.
he found a good video game. eventually.
Nah. I bet he has Andromeda pre-ordered.
One more chance.
You got one more.
Maybe the good guys will win this time.
Anyways, that's it for T.U.G.S this week. Watch our latest live stream. We played Secret Hitler, and it was way, way, way too much fun. So go watch that, and then watch last week's episode of T.U.G.S. Go buy this t-shirt at etcmerch.com. You know where to get these. These are everywhere. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.